There's one thing I do want to bring up, and it was something I was curious about. There's a lot going on right now in the media with, we're much more conscious about the environment, and the oceans are really effed up right now, like super effed up. And I'm sure you've probably seen this wave of the swell of this, of people being more aware of this. How have you addressed this as somebody who focuses on seafood as your main source?
It's not hypothetical to me. No one stands to lose more from overfishing than the guy who owns 5 seafood restaurants. That's how I keep a roof over my head.
Yeah.
Number one is it's real. This is not, in today's culture, you kind of have to say science is real, data is real, but there's also alarmism that is headline driven that isn't real. Overfishing the oceans is real.
Yeah.
So number one is we get this person who comes in the fish market. We hear this all the time. Hi there. I don't want any farm raised fish. Also, I want to make sure I'm not like hurting the fish's oceans or whatever, right? So let me get this straight. You only want wild fish, but you also don't want to deplete the oceans of wild fish. Okay, well, seems like we're painting with a very narrow brush there. Number one, this is not even a popular sentiment in the seafood industry very much. Aqua farming is essential. There is nothing wrong with farm raising fish. There is something wrong with poorly farm raising fish. The example I give is chicken. You've never eaten a wild chicken, right? So the chicken farm might make the quality of chicken that goes into McNuggets and all the horrors of factory farming and that we all know. Or you might be talking about a free-range organic chicken farm that is selling the best chicken on earth to the Michelin-starred restaurants. Yeah. They're both a farm. We tend to talk about aqua farming as generalizing. Yeah. Okay? There are incredible aqua farms that create So what are the I will spend the rest of your podcast talking about this stuff if you want. There are basically 5 factors that make whether a aqua farm is good. Number one is, are they raising the fish in the environment it's supposed to be in? A North Atlantic salmon should be raised in the North Atlantic. Its immune system is based on the bacteria that's in that water and the blah blah blah. You start taking fish out of where they're from, and bad stuff starts happening. Number 2, does that aqua farm have clean water circulation? Everybody remembers when the filter broke on your fish tank?
Nasty.
It's nasty.
Yeah.
People tend to think of aqua farming as happening in an aquarium. That's not how it works. It's in giant open water. What you just need, so the Bay of Fundy in Nova Scotia, that's the one where the water goes up and down 70 feet.
Yeah.
More water flows in and out of the Bay of Fundy twice a day than the combined volumetric sum of every drop of water in every freshwater river on Earth.
That's crazy.
Imagine if you hit pause on the Danube and the Nile and the Mississippi and the Missouri and every river you've ever heard of. That's how much water flows in and out of this bay twice a day.
Incredible.
So as long as you have an area with really great water circulation, you're going to have good aqua farming. Number 3, that the aqua farm produces more fish protein than it takes out. There are lots of aqua farms that for every pound of fish they grow, take 1.2 pounds of fish in fish feed to feed the fish. So you are just having a net negative impact on fish, right? You're not saving the ocean. You're
just causing another problem.
Number 4 is that there is the feed that they're using. That they're using high quality feed, not serving them crap. And number 5 is just a lack of not using the. I mean, you have to have some antibiotics, but just a general sense of, are we doing like best practice antibiotics here, or are we completely doing terrible? Using too many antibiotics.
So that's 5 things.
That's
best
five
practice.
factors.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just want to cover these real quick. Number 1, were they?
Are they raised in the environment that?
Yes. Were they raised where they're from? Number 2, filter or some type of circulation. Number 3, more fish in than out.
Net positive. You're making more fish than you're taking.
Good feed is number 4. Number 5 is best practices when it comes to antibiotics.
Yes.
Is there like a seal that we can that covers all these that we can just look to see if it has a seal? Or is there a way?
No, absolutely not. And that's one of the. I mean, the same way that So number 1 is I've been to aqua farms. I've traveled. I've actually been to these farms. There's no way. I mean, who knows that, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm happy that this is great stuff right here.
So one of the things we said, why go to a fish market, is it's my job to know these things. You probably know in your business, lawyer comes in, you know about a lot more about the law than I do. This is my weird thing. I know you can trust me. I've been to the farm. I know it's a good farm.
Okay. Well, I'll have those 5 things listed in the show notes so you guys can check. And, these are the questions you should be asking when you're sourcing your fish. Like, these are good filters to put up there. And part of Restaurant Unstoppable's mission is to transform the industry. The way I think we're going to do that is by sharing values and best practices. And thank you for getting into the details.
It's my pleasure. The question was about not overfishing our oceans.
Yeah.
And I said, so the first thing is don't be scared of farm-raised fish.
Yeah.
Demand great. The more demand we have for great aqua farming, the less crappy aqua farming there
How do you